All right, man. We live. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Hold on. So we definitely is live. Had to make a few tweaks here with the live stream thing. So they forcing everybody to do this new live now. Used to get used the classic way to stream. So we got this whole new live setup for YouTube live people. So I appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. As you come through the door on the live or the watch it on the replay, make sure you hit the thumbs up button for me. Appreciate the love, support. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation to the channel? You see the cash app at the top of the screen, CJ Good 313. PayPal link in the description. I will be switching over soon to StreamYard full time, so I'll be doing stuff over there. I'm gonna pay for that subscription when this is up. Aaron Choice salute. But let's talk about the game yesterday. One Pride Nation, you can check his channel out. He sent me some interesting information. And sometimes I just be so focused on the game, I don't be paying attention. But he sent me the thing about the zone and the man coverage. I did notice that. Um, he also sent me that Jared Davis basically got benched and Tracy Walker's snaps went up. So, um, yeah, said Jerry Davis basically benched yesterday. He played 15 snaps and Tracy Walker played the whole game. Now, some analyst, I didn't open the article, was critical of how Matt Patricia was using Tracy Walker, and apparently he wasn't using him the whole game. So, pretty much you seen Tavai his hair flapping out of there, and I was saying to myself, if Tavai can't beat out Jared Davis, at this point in his career, and Davis been playing terrible, then when is he ever going to beat him? Strict advisory salute. But yesterday was a good game. I had a feeling that they was gonna win. They always win the games they're not supposed to win. But one thing I did notice yesterday was Kenny Galladay really took a lot of the coverage, and Marvin Jones was able to break free. And he wasn't 100%. You could tell he didn't really have that burst. But once he got warmed up, he started. He had 5 catches for 57 yards, something like that. He started to get into a rhythm, and it opened some things up for Marvin Jones. I still don't like the way Daryl Bevel's using T.J. Hockenson. Hockenson and Okuda right now look like bad draft picks. Not from the situation of talent level. It's just how they utilized. Hockenson is utilized as a part-time tight end. He had what five? He had 7 targets. Him and Galley yesterday. Why ain't they drawing up more plays where he can get 15 or 20 targets? They had no matchup for him. Daryl Bevel was just looking like a long line of retarded coordinators that we had here on the offensive side of the ball, man. That's the kind of thing I didn't like from him yesterday. He got Jesse James involved, but he don't know he don't know how to draw plays for tight ends consistently. Because Hockenson should have had 15, 20 targets the last few games. Green Bay couldn't match up with him. Chicago couldn't match up with him. Arizona last year and this year couldn't match up with him. Whatever reason it is, the Lions have always been that type of team that like to spread it out. They want to spread it here. They want to spread it there. They want to spread it here. Like at the end of the day, you had Calvin Johnson, and y'all refused to use him until the end of the game. You see how New Orleans used Michael Thomas, and we play them next week, ironically. They abused that matchup. Y'all can laugh all y'all want about the 5-yard plays that Drew Brees throw, but they're effective. They will throw Mike Thomas the ball as much as he open. Not the Lions. You got Calvin Johnson. We gonna use everybody. We gonna spread the wealth around. Sometimes you need to abuse a great matchup. And Hockenson, he had another great matchup in a row. You want to know why players? Why players don't want to play here? Because they don't know how to utilize the talent. The Lions had a lot of great talent that's been misused. And they not utilizing that Hockenson guy the right way. But it's funny how Galley still ain't got his money, but we'll get there. He said, "Well, Peterson, he definitely still got it." Peterson, at least Bevel listened to something I said. I say pick a running back and let him get into a rhythm. Swift didn't have no carries. I think Kerryon had 3 carries, and Adrian Peterson had 22 carries. Obviously he not the Peterson when he was in his prime, but obviously he the best running back there. He held onto the ball. He found the holes. He got great vision, and Peterson was excellent. But I kind of want to. I break down the game and I get to this topic that I seen. Shout out to Dro 313. But offensively yesterday, Cardinals pressed them. They blitzed, and for the most part, Stafford, was down some, but a lot of the plays they picked up the blitz well and well enough. But he missed some throws. But that's what happens when you get hit in the pocket. When you get hit in the pocket, you're gonna miss some throws. But the good thing about it is, he was on point down the stretch of that game. You know, he was on point, and I think them committing to 22 rushes with Adrian Peterson made the defense stay honest, and they just spread the wealth around. Hall got that play. We'll talk about later how it was a blessing to Scots, but Jones got his, Galley got his, Hockenson got his. I think Swift got a couple balls thrown to him, but they need to really take a game plan and build it around their best players, and that's just my opinion. It's taking my damn sock off. They really need to build, like, if Hockenson got the best matchup, why not draw 50% of the passing plays for Hockenson? That's what I didn't understand. I just don't understand. You draft a guy 7th overall. You don't draft him to come here to block. That's a plus that he blocks. You draft him to come here to catch the football. You draft him for the red zone. You bring Jesse James here to do what he did yesterday, is catch the ball in the red zone. So I don't understand. You draft this kid 7 overall, and he got 7 balls yesterday. They need to cut that shit out. When we spreading the wealth around, abuse a great matchup. You see New Orleans last night, I woke up and they lost. I went to sleep. They will abuse a great matchup. If you don't have an answer for Kamara will run the ball 10 times. He'll catch the ball 15 or 20 times if they have to. That's what I like about Sean Payton. Sean Payton he will say, okay, I got Michael Thomas, I got Kamara. I'm going to draw my offense up around him. He will abuse a great matchup. And every week, for the most part, Kamara got a great matchup out the backfield and running the ball. Michael Thomas got a great matchup. You seen it last night with the Arizona Cardinals. They had a great matchup with Andy Isabel, and they kept going there. He had a great matchup with DeAndre Hopkins. They kept going there. The Lions just want to spread. They always been like that with Stafford. No. If you can't stop Calvin Johnson, abuse him. If you can't stop TJ Hockenson, abuse it. And then when you start to double and when you start to bracket guys like them and Galladay, then you go to Danny Amendola. Then you go to Marvin Jones. But until you show me you can stop Hockenson, until you show me you can stop Amendola, until you stop Galladay, I'm not going to stop abusing those matchups. And that's the thing I don't like about the Lions. Since Scott Linehan, they want to spread the ball around and be cute. Fuck all that. It worked for some teams, but I'm abusing Galladay. As much as Galladay can take it, can eat, I'm gonna keep feeding. That's the problem. Sometimes you over analyze an offense. You make things too complex. Sometimes it's simple. Get the ball to your best playmakers, and if the defense start to roll coverage and stop it and double and bracket, then we go to the supporting cast. He said, Aaron Choi says, what's going on, Armor? He said, Aaron Choi said, yeah, Davis had to ride the pine and defense played better. Aaron Choi didn't know how slow Marvin Jones was until you put me on. He's starting to slow down. It's natural. Fitzgerald. Remember Fitzgerald in that Super Bowl where they thought Arizona was going to win? He took that slant for like 70 yards. It's just a natural effect. Once you get banged up as in the NFL, you slow down. You know what I'm saying? He slowed down significantly since he signed with us and since he came from the Bengals. He's a 4-4 guy. Right now, he might be lucky to be a 4-6 guy. 313, I answered that one. He said, Aaron said, Walker, the next one they not using right. Walker's a deep safety, not an in the box. That's more Will Harris. Exactly. Walker's a guy that played corner at, where's he go? Somewhere Louisiana, Lafayette. He played corner. He could play nickel. He kind of played that Quadre Diggs position. They just don't know how to utilize him. He said, how do you think Vata did ignoring it? The penalty was actually a blessing, and I get there. I really didn't notice. I had to really look because it was one play they gave up a sack that you don't know who it was on. Somebody didn't get the play. It looked like Ragnow crashed down, and either Jonah Jackson was supposed to pick up, or I don't know, it was a blown play. So I really couldn't. The penalty was actually a good thing to happen. He said, Kamara, strict advisories that, yeah, he's a beast. They play the Saints next. Alexis, excuse me. They play the Saints next. I'm drooling this shit. I'm a little tired, but they play the Saints next week, 1:00. We have the crib, but to go wrong, I think Stafford played well yesterday, and I think you've seen why Galladay deserved to get paid. When you got a number one out there, everybody. When you got a number one receiver out there that get the attention of a Galladay, a Hopkins, a Michael Thomas, you know, and like with Tyreek Hill, you know he going deep, or he could take a short route going deep. But when you put a guy like Hopkins and Thomas out, a complete receiver out there, Cooper and guys like that, you don't know what they're going to do. They can go deep. They can run the digs. They can run the ends, the slants. They can run the complete route tree. And Galladay is a complete receiver. So when I have to roll coverage to Galladay, now Marvin Jones see less attention. Now Amendola see less attention. Now the back see less attention. Now instead of you bringing a back or a safety into the box, now you got to keep a safety over the top to watch him. He changes so much for the offense. That, all right, if I didn't have Galley out there, who gonna run by me? Cephas not gonna run by me. Amendola not gonna run by me, and Jones not gonna run by me by this point in his career. So I can put 8 men in the box if I want to stop the run, and I can dare you to go deep. But ain't none of these guys gonna run by my corners. When you put Galley out there, you always got to keep You got to keep attention. You got to play soft. You got to keep somebody over the top. So now that you paying more attention to Galladay, now Marvin Jones seeing less attention. Without Galladay being out there, everybody get equal attention. So everybody got to be equal coverage. So I don't have to compromise. So I can throw an 8 man in the box. I can rob a guy. I can double a guy. I can blitz an extra guy because I'm really not worried about you going deep. So I can bring my safety. I can bring my safety in the box because who's gonna run by me? Unless you put Marvin Hall out there and he not being utilized the right way, he needs to play more. Unless you put Marvin Hall by me. Hold on. They got new episodes of The Maladorian. Oh no, I gotta finish watching this commercial. In October. All right, I watched The Maladorian. I got Disney Plus through Verizon. They gave it to me for free for a year. That's coming up next month. Or 2 months. Nah, it ain't October yet, but Disney Plus good. All the movies on there, shit coming. They ain't paying me to say that neither. I like Disney Plus. But back on topic. When you don't have a Galladay out there, I can blitz a guy. I'm not worried about nobody beat me. And if you do beat me, I'm going to run down your slow receivers. That's the difference. I don't have to worry about you. I can blitz it. I can blitz the Lions all day if it's Galladay not out there. I can blitz off the corner. I can blitz up the Z gap. I can blitz all day, or I can just keep somebody in coverage. That's it. I can do so many things and still not have to worry. And that's the point of the Lions. They slow everywhere. Some guy in the chat was saying, well, they don't really need Galladay as much as they need Taylor Decker. That was a lie. You seen it yesterday. Even though he wasn't 100%, that deep ball they threw, if he was 100%, he would have caught that deep ball. But y'all see just what, a 70, 80% Kenny Galladay, it changes everything. Look at Mike Thomas. That's the last 2 games without Mike Thomas. People say, oh, Mike Thomas do is catch 5-yard passes. Without them little 5-yard, and the only reason he only catch 5-yard passes is because Drew Brees can't throw down the field. His arm is gone. So amongst these few weeks coming up, they're going to give Drew Brees a break. Because his arm is not that good no more. It never was really good. He had an okay, adequate arm coming in from Purdue. Messed his shoulder up in San Diego. His arm has really been questionable. It ain't Chad Pennington bad, but it's getting there. So when you take Galladay out the game, you can do whatever you want to do. They have no playmakers that's going to run power you, but Marvin Hall. Now, they misutilize him. He need to be out there more than Amendola. It's time to phase out Amendola. And the only reason you don't phase him out completely is if Marvin Hall can't run the route tree. If all Marvin Hall can do is run that deep post or that drag, or that, excuse me, not that drag. If all he can do is run that skinny or that deep post, or he can run that crossing route, then I get it. But if Marvin Hall can run an out, a deep out, a speed out, a zig route, if he can run a drag route, shallow crossing route. If he can run some of those routes, you know what I'm saying? It's no reason to be playing Amendola. Amendola should be in. Amendola should be in critical situations. That's what Amendola should be in. Amendola should be in critical situations. It's time. It's time to cut his playing time down and use Marvin Hall more. You know, and when you paying attention to Galladay, you paying attention to Hawkinson underneath. Now you're in a situation where Marvin Hall can sneak down the field, and he's an excellent deep ball catcher. He can get that deep ball, like that one he caught yesterday. He came back. It was a perfect ball. He came back and caught it. It's really time to phase out Amendola. Amendola should play on critical third downs. What do you fear about Amendola other than catching big balls over the middle on third down? He not gonna run by you. He not. It's the Amendola is just he can catch those balls in a soft zone, or he's shifty. He can't run by nobody. Now on critical third downs, then yeah, you put him in there. But on those running plays with Adrian Peterson, you get the ball running and you able to play action, he able to get deep. He the perfect complement to Kenny Galladay. Perfect. Perfect. That's why Calvin Johnson, I'm tired of making Calvin Johnson references. That's why Johnson wasn't as effective as he needed to be. Not only did the Lions not know how to run the ball, but they had Nate Burleson next to him. Nate Burleson was an okay receiver, but what Calvin Johnson always needed was a Deshaun Jackson next to him, or Joey Galloway. He needed a shifty receiver that could take the top off the defense. So if you got to respect, both, a Jackson and a Calvin Johnson deep, Johnson can run. He can run all the underneath routes. Then you have your Nate Burleson, Amendola, working underneath in the slot, and that's where the Lions just don't have a football IQ. They just don't. But to be honest, Marvin Hall, he need to be playing more. But obviously that's just it. Cephas just can't run by nobody, bro. The team is just scary slow. And the guys that got speed, Todd Johnson, he was off. Gerard Davis, he got benched yesterday basically. Jamal Agnew, he caught a ball yesterday, but he just don't seem to be it. Collins was also Collins jumped off the film. I talked about that in the reaction video. Make sure hit the thumbs up button. I'll get to the defense in a minute. I don't think Stafford really took advantage of off the turnovers. No, he didn't, but they did enough to win. They didn't score in the red zone. I mean, that's still the issue they're having. Like 3 balls to Amendola tight end in the red zone were complete over the middle. He said like 3 balls to Amendola tight ends in the end zone were completely overthrown. I mean, the one that was to who was in the back? Was that Jesse James? That was just good coverage. If he would have put that ball that needed to be put, it would probably got picked or deflected. Lions need to learn how to use Hall and Agnew. The way Hall tracked that ball was great. It's time for him to step in. His the way they utilize him ain't right. It's like they don't trust him. I mean, that's where he come out the slot. You go put him in the slot, and he should be able to. He provides you the only guy behind besides Galladay to get healthy that can get down the field. Cephas is way better. He's a rook, but Cephas don't give you the deep threat. That's what you're missing. Stafford is in his 12th year. He need explosive plays down the field, and the Lions just don't have those players outside of Galladay till you get 100% in Hall and Todd Johnson and Swift, and they didn't get a lot of burn yesterday. And that's just what it is. You got to understand this league is going towards explosive plays, and the Lions don't get any explosive plays. He said, he should earn more of a role, Hall. Somebody asked me about high tie before I kind of moved to the defense in a second. That holding penalty was actually was a great play for the Lions. Yeah, Todd Johnson, he was a healthy scratch yesterday. In a holding play on high tie, I call him Big V. The holding penalty on him was actually great. Because if you don't get that holding penalty, the Lions score, Kyler Murray get the ball back, and I guarantee you, they probably going into overtime. So you had to look at it that way. If Big V don't get that holding penalty and Marvin Hall get on the one, he get on the one, they push it in. It's a minute and some change left at that point. Maybe around a minute. Kyler Murray probably get down the field, and maybe they still do lose. Maybe they don't punch it into the end zone. But with his ability to run, and we know Patricia would have went to his man prevent defense, it was probably a good chance that Kyler Murray probably would have put points on the board. So that holding call on Big V was actually a great thing for the Lions. They went there. I think everybody after that play probably went SOL. We gonna punt it, and Murray gonna come down and kick a field goal. But Bevel had a great play. He was in his bag. They threw the ball to Jones. They got in position. Stafford, took the snap, rolled to the left, so Matt Prater get where he wanted to get. Matt Prater won the game. It was people can say it was conservative, but when you got a kicker that's like Prater, and you get him in kicking range, cool. Even though Murray would have had to come down and score a touchdown, I wouldn't have put it past him. But I think the high tie holding penalty was great, especially with Bevel able to bail them out on the back end. I think it was a blessing in disguise. So, yeah, the holding call was great because it allowed Kyler Murray to stay on the sideline. So, I mean, it's just time to phase Amendola out. You know what I'm saying? He no longer should be a full-time slot receiver. And if you can have Marvin Hall run an out route and maybe get him involved in the screen game, he probably need more than 9 a post. He will need a dig, a out, a curl. I think those routes, a dig, a out, a curl. If he can run those routes along with that 9 and that skinny post, whatever you want to call it, he'd be in good shape. So I think it's time for them to utilize him more. You just got nobody. Adrian ain't running by nobody no more. Carryon ain't running by nobody. Even though when he got the ball yesterday, he ran with more explosiveness. Hawkinson is pretty good, but he really ain't like Vernon Davis explosive. I mean, Quintez ain't running by nobody. Marvin Jones ain't running by nobody no more. So really, you in a situation where Galladay is really your explosive receiver. I heard Big V gave up two sacks. How many times Stafford get sacked last night? Let me see. See, I'm not really. I want to pay attention to that part of the game, but it's hard when you're tracking the ball. It's hard when you're tracking that ball. Give me a minute. Let me see. Check out on ESPN. Stafford was sacked 4 times yesterday, so it's possible he gave up 2. He says that. Hold on, let me get back. Marvin Hall definitely needs to be out there more with Galladay. Yup, perfect fit. Jim Animal Q, John Q. HTF Nutty said, I think Agnew sucks. CFS is way better. He's a rook. Lions have such good potential for the future. Sign Galladay. Cephas moved to the slot. The only thing about Cephas is, you got to get somebody that can run to take Marvin Jones' second position. With Cephas, that's why I didn't like the draft pick. He's a good receiver so far. And he made a special teams tackle yesterday, too. He's just slow. And in this league, you got to be fast. In my eyes, he earning more of a role. He's on my Hall, Aaron. Strict advisory, bro. I forgot Todd Johnson. We should use him more. Yeah, he was healthy scratch. He said, no, I was saying Cephas. Oh, Cephas, all right. Yeah, I got it now. James Cruz said, what do you think about him? Trash. He ain't making no impact. Either the injuries took a toll or he was a one-hit wonder. Because this is his third year, so he had one good rookie year. He trashed this year. The O-line played better than I expected. Jackson playing good. And Crosby looking like he's not letting that right. No, Big V started yesterday. Yeah, Big V was playing. I think Crosby was on the bench. Wartime, his fake fans die. Aaron Choi says 2 of them sacks were cover sacks. The real fans is one pride forever. Wartime, DeAndre Baker. That's a great name to have right now. That dude from the Giants that got cut, he on trial for his life. Or he should be going to trial, but he said 3 times. Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, Big V probably ain't even 100% healthy. They're probably pressuring him to play with that foot injury. Ain't nothing good with having a foot injury. But other than that, for the offense, I mean, I think Darrell Bevel did a good job. Other than getting Hawkinson the ball. If he got Hawkinson the ball more, I think the win would have been easier. But going to the defense, do y'all even notice Danny Shelton out there? I don't even know the difference between Shelton and Panisi out there. They both look the same. Um, Deshaun I mean, did they say Trey Flowers' name yesterday? Did y'all hear Trey Flowers' name? Did they say Trey Flowers' name? Panisi registered one tackle. Um, Danny Shelton had 2 tackles. Trey Flowers had 3 tackles and one solo tackle. I mean, Jeff Okudah was second in the league, second in the team with 6 total tackles and 6 solo tackles. You know, like I said before. Oh, he said Crosby played right tackle and Big V played right guard. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? I didn't notice that. I thought Big V was at right tackle. Couldn't have been at right guard. That couldn't have been true. Because unless Jonah Jackson was at left guard. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I was wondering why. You're right. Because I was wondering why they blame that the one where Stafford got sacked by was it Jordan Phillips, and they said Jonah Jackson was supposed to crash to the right to the right tack to the he's supposed to crash down. He's supposed to cover where Ragnar left a hole at. So yeah, you're right. I didn't even pay no attention to it. I just paid no attention. So that's cool. I was thinking in my head like if Ragnar crashed down that way, why would Jonah Jackson cover that way? So I get it now. Yeah, I saw the Devin Kennard got Stafford. He trashed though. Agnew, our new slot receivers for sure. Okura got us. He got the only sack yesterday, Romeo, and it wasn't Julian. And Julian Okura was a healthy scratch, but it don't look like he played or he registered a stat. He said, "What's making the team?" Wartime Christian said, "What's making the team fall behind in the fourth quarter? It's like the defense kicks butt all game, but in the fourth quarter, could be fatigue. That's one thing I could. It could be fatigue. That's why you see Okuda got knocked off. It's probably fatigue. It's like Patricia, he do too much conditioning. That's why I got whooped by the Jets. Was that his first year? Yeah, that's why I got whooped by the Jets like that. Too much fatigue. Do you like Okuda right now? Play over true front? Uh, at this point, you got to let him play. Yeah, I agree. Let him learn. If you get in a position where you might, win, win a division or go into the playoffs, then you got to play true front. But Okuda getting a lot of they putting him on the number one receiver, and that's tough. He covering Hopkins wherever he go. He covering Adams wherever he go. He gonna be probably covering Mike Thomas next week if he play. And people talking about he got the worst pro football focus stats on the team. I'm like, shit, he covering the best player. Andy Isabel was bullying Darryl Roberts yesterday. Corner route, another touchdown, and the slot is a tough player to play. Isabel is a really really fast receiver, so it didn't really shock me. I told y'all that's a guy that you need to look out for. He's a really 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 solid receiver. So yeah, one Pride Nation salute. I make sure to check his channel out. I'm like 80% sure, but Flowers need to teach me how to rob the Lions for not even. I told y'all he wasn't that guy. People say, "Oh, you just being negative." He not in that conversation with Vaughn and Khalil. Shit, he ain't even in there with Melvin Ingram or Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, Shaquille Berry. Like, it's a lot of guys I prefer to have over him. I told y'all he that old slow defensive end of all. He ain't even as good as Richard Seymour was, and that's a really really good. But he just slow. I prefer Ansa, Cliff Averill. Should I take Kyle Vanderbosch in year 35 over him when he was with the Lions? So, but overall defensively yesterday, I mean, I think Collins he jumped off the tape instantly. He caused the first pick for Deron Harmon. He made midget Kyler Murray throw high. Excuse me. He also got the pick in zone. Was that on Hopkins or Larry Fitzgerald? He sunk and got the pick. he played. He was the best player on the field yesterday defensively for us, and he was dominant. He was dominant. You know, really really dominant, and I just don't see nothing from Deshaun Hand. I don't see nothing from none of the D linemen. You know, Okora made a play yesterday, but just don't see much, man. You see, Collins played big. Walker played good yesterday. The corners held up. It's just nobody jumping off the film. He said through 3 weeks, Frank Ragnar was ranked the second best center in the league right now. I mean, he didn't give up a sack in college. Flowers more like David Taylor to me. Yeah, he's out of South Carolina. He was the opposite defensive end of Jadeveon Clowney at South Carolina. But yeah, I remember him. He didn't do nothing here. Remember we had George Johnson. He came here on a cheap deal, had a sack deal, got paid somewhere, and he fell off again. That's the one thing that was good with the Lions. Before Patricia got here, we used to have D linemen all over the place. Andrew Llewellyn, Sean Rogers. Anybody that came in, they was able to get some pass rushing. But defensively yesterday, I mean, they forced turnovers. They made Kyler Perry throw from the pocket and throw over people. But Collins finally made an impact yesterday. It's still Ricky Salute. It's still some tweaks that got to be made there. They don't have a line. If they had a better defensive line, then maybe some things can be done. But they just don't have the bosses up front. They don't have the penetrators. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the speed. With Deshaun Hand not doing nothing, it's like he was here last year. He didn't play. He didn't play last year much until he came back. He sucked. I think he was a one-hit wonder. I don't know what's going on with him. He probably was a one-hit wonder, or the injury took a toll to him. The D-line coach got the best out of players. Can't think of his name. I mean, Rob Marinelli was a D-line coach. Pat, he always talked about pad level. Record needs to get healthy so he could take Hand's spot. Man, he ain't gonna take no Hand spot. I mean, Hand playing on the inside. So he not playing on the end. Hand is playing on the inside. So Okora can't play on the inside. Okora healthy. He was active yesterday. They just not playing him. And it's what it's looking like it's looking like Bob Quinn is drafting the players and they not fitting in Patricia's scheme. That's what it's looking like. Bob Quinn drafting these players and they not fitting with the scheme Patricia implemented. Julian Okora was a healthy scratch yesterday. I mean, he was a healthy scratch week 2, and he was active yesterday and didn't play. For a team that's having problems generating pass rush, why ain't Julian Okora playing? Is he not healthy? Does he not get the playbook? This is crazy. You sat there and you took this dude in the 3rd round, and you having problems getting pass rush. What's the problem with putting him out there? Last year he was injured week 2 and 3, and he was healthy and still was nowhere to find. Yeah, he was a one hit wonder. Excuse me. Yep, he was a one hit wonder. You want to know why he fell to the 3rd round? This is why. He probably can walk home after that. Before he not doing nothing. John Panisi not doing nothing. Danny Shelton, just don't get. At some point, they're going to have to make an adjustment. They're going to have to put J.B. Collins as the primary pass rusher, put his hand in the dirt. Real. Turn on to this game. Real. Sometimes I see Texas and Texas Tech. I was like, oh, game it came with. So I mean, we look at the defense yesterday. They created turnovers, and that's what bend don't break mean. For bend don't break to be successful, you have to You have to create turnovers, and to create turnovers, you got to have playmakers. And Jamie Collins caused 2 turnovers. He jumped up and made Murray throw high. Herman got the pick. Herman also dropped an additional pick in that game. You know what I'm saying? Then he caught a pick, and then Jeff Okuda caught a bad ball. So with Jeff Okuda, he was out there saying that I'm tired of being disrespected, but he was the worst rated defensive player on the even over Darryl Roberts. Darryl Roberts got abused yesterday by Andy Isabel. To be honest, Andy Isabel is a track star. He's a track star, so Darryl Roberts really had no chance at guarding him. And Murray dropping dimes the way he did, but defensively, Jeff Okuda really can't talk. He can't. Jeff Okuda cannot talk. I'm tired of being disrespected. Like, dude, you made 2 plays yesterday, but you was getting abused. Let's keep it real. DeAndre Hopkins ain't the fastest receiver in the league. So why are you playing 12 yards off of DeAndre Hopkins? He ain't gonna burn you. He playing 12 yards off of Hopkins. Like, dude, are you serious? He said, Deacon Meach say, if we stick with man, which I strongly disagree with, we should drop that middle linebacker zone to help cover on them drag routes till his man can recover. I mean, they play more. They played 44.4% zone yesterday. The previous weeks was under 20%. They played all over 81% week 1 and week 2 and man. He said they relying on him. Yep, and he ain't doing nothing. Julian needs to hit the weight room. Dude, too small to be an edge. Well, remember he was a linebacker. He was a outside linebacker at Notre Dame for Chip Kelly or Brian Kelly, excuse me. I mean, if he need to hit the weight room, ain't that something that they should have knew before they drafted him with the third round pick? That's my whole thing. You took a third round pick on this dude, and he wasn't ready to play. Remember, he's coming off a fractured leg. What happened to y'all boy from Clemson? The Brian kid. I told y'all he wasn't shit. He injured 2 years in a row. What I tell y'all, injured 2 years in a row. Y'all bigging him up. Oh man, the Clemson guy. He's gonna come here. What's his name? Tony O'Brien. Well, I don't know his name. He still ain't. I ain't still see him do nothing on the field. He said, "What you think the biggest need right now is?" A head coach and a general manager. If you talking about on the field, the defensive pass rusher, lineman, they need everything up front. We should have got Isabel, but I'm not mad at the Okuda pick. I'm not mad at Okuda. You went up against the best receiver. Yeah, Isabel went late in that draft. He was a track star. Derrick Brown has 8 tackles this season with 0 sacks and 0 forced fumbles. It's taking rookies time this season. Yeah, and people said we should have took Derrick Brown. Did y'all hear Isaiah Simmons' name yesterday? For people who want Isaiah Simmons, did y'all hear his name? I didn't. I heard when he came into the game, he's struggling too. Some people say Austin Bryant might have to start selling insurance eventually. You ain't lying. That's his name, Austin. I told y'all he wasn't nothing. They stay drafting injury players. Tavai was injured. Brian was injured. Han had a history of being injured. Okura came off a fracture. It's like if you injured, they want you. The Lions had to draft the most injured players, out there, man. But Okura had to get out there and play. Playing by you, I ain't drafting you in the third round for nothing. For real, you gotta get out there and make a tackle, something. Y'all got any questions? He gotta get out there and make a tackle. But overall, the difference was the turnovers. Kenyon Drake, he still ran all over him. Turnovers was the difference. Who would you replace? Would you replace Patricia with? I don't know. I'd probably say Marvin Lewis. If not Marvin, I don't want no dudes who ain't did it before. I'm done with that. Probably give me Marvin Lewis. Really, none of the top 10 picks are doing good right now. Shit, Herbert. I mean, he ain't won yet, but he doing solid. Let me see. Yeah, I ain't really heard about nobody doing good. Burrow's doing okay. He ain't got no way. He getting beat up behind that line. Chase Young balling. He got injured yesterday though, but Chase Young balling. DJ Anderson, he got picked apart last week though. Henry Ruggs, I think he got injured already. AJ Terrell's doing well. He got the COVID though. Yeah, it ain't really too much of these dudes I'm hearing. Ain't Patrick Queen balling? He is. They was talking about him. There's a few that's ball. He wasn't in the top 10. You think Rex Ryan would make a decent D coordinator? He ain't coming to be no D coordinator, bro. Rex Ryan, if he come back, it's gonna be a head coach. He not coming back to be no coordinator. They're disrespectful to him. His brother would though. Would you keep this O line up for a reset for the season? Hold on. Would you keep this O line lineup? Okay, for the reason for the I'll keep. That's why they should have did at the beginning. Big V ain't no tackle to begin with. Honolulu blue and silver. What's your thoughts on the Saints game? If you check message from 3 videos ago, I predicted the Lions will pimp out the Cards. I think that will sound same old. I mean, the Saints game depends if Michael Thomas play or not. If he don't play, if they can stop Kamara, they'll win. All you got to do is make Drew Brees throw deep. It sounds easy, but it ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? I play everything tight, and if he beat me down the field, they beat me. Traquan Smith can run. Who else they got out there? Emmanuel Sanders still can run. So I mean, Alvin Kamara, he was balling yesterday. You got to stop him. Michael Thomas. I mean, the Saints not a complex team. It's time for them to fall off. But they do a lot of things to get the best. Sean Payton probably the best offensive mind. They do a lot of things to get the best out of their players, man. So that's a tough game, man. It's a tough game. I mean, defensively, Marshawn Lattimore more and Kenny Galladay. That's a tough matchup. Is Russell Wilson? Yeah, he definitely the MVP. I think Dan Orlovsky racist, dude. He talking, oh, Josh Allen's MVP, man. Rush then threw a record 14 touchdowns in 3 weeks. He said you got to watch out for AK. Who AK? Squad Gaming. He said, I want to see Collins move outside linebacker and Davis move. Davis can't play defensive end. He ain't got no pass rushing skills. That ain't gonna happen. They benched him yesterday, I heard. Anyone know if Michael Thomas is going? Nobody knows yet. So, I mean, if he do be healthy, shit, it's gonna be tough. He's a good player. But if no more questions, I'm gonna hop off this game about to start on between Lamar and Patrick Mahomes, the Baltimore Jacksons and the Kansas City Mahomes. So I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. We gonna